Yesterday was good.
Yeah.
We split off into a few different groups, and each of the groups were starting to look at different models that we could potentially use for modelling. For modelling? I'm not awake.
We are running into problems today as we are starting to implement the models. Yesterday we figured out how to go ahead, and we had more clarity in the next task. I think we just started implementing this morning the next steps in the sense of implementing the models, and we see that there are of course the challenges that have come, and we're trying to solve. It's a bit frustrating at this point, but I guess that's part of the whole process.
As the week moves on and the researchers get stuck into their work, some of the limitations and hurdles of the challenge become apparent.
Scraping the weather data was a bit difficult because first I tried looking into the metadata, but that was just broken links, so no success there. And many of these services are like paid, so I was looking for something open source, so that took a little bit longer than I anticipated. But yeah, I have the data now, so hopefully it should be done by the end of the day.
We've been sort of looking at how we can split the molecules up in order to avoid things like data leakage. So that's what we've kind of been working on the last couple of days. Well, yesterday, and then what we're going to be working on today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're having some difficulties in terms of separating the data. So you want to separate it into train and test data, and really you want the test to be as different as possible. And because the data is in quite a high dimension, it's really difficult to see similarity between the different molecules. So yeah, we've been looking into a few different methods of visualizing these to get a good separation.
Data study groups attract a diverse range of researchers. This diversity offers fresh insights and new perspectives.
Before I came here, I thought that it would largely be PhD students in different years. So I thought it would mostly be just like people such as myself who are in the PhD. But I think it was quite interesting because a lot of people in my group are like postdocs, or one of them is even a lecturer. So I think it's like really nice to have different levels of experience to work with.
We have about 10 people working on the Ignota project, as well as 2 technical facilitators. We have the PI, we have the challenge owners. So initially, I think we were quite unsure on who was going to do what. But in the end, and as Apita said, because of the range of backgrounds, it's actually really interesting to see where different people's skills shine in different areas. We have people doing literature reviews, we have people doing exploratory data analysis, we have people building just baseline models to just test and get an idea of the data. And that's actually really exciting because the challenge can seem really overwhelming at first because there are so many different avenues to explore. But then having this huge team of different skill sets is really exciting to be able to tackle those in different directions.
What I didn't expect also that there are a couple of people who are much more advanced because they have experience in that particular domain.
Yeah.
That really speeded up because I thought like everybody is kind of like coming from very different backgrounds, but there are a couple of them who know things what's actually going on from an application point of view. I think that really helped us to narrow down what we want to do.
Data study groups are a safe place for these researchers to explore, network, experiment, and learn from each other, engendering creativity unrestricted compared to that in pure academic research or consultancy. This gives the activity a unique potential to find novel approaches and ways forward to real-world problems.
I've been waiting a year and looking out for this opportunity to work with industrial data and to be able to learn from the talent, both from the industry side as well as from the academia side.
It's been nice to meet new people, collaborate with them from different environments, learn from their experiences and work on some interesting data as well.
So it's quite different from what I've been doing before. So I'm learning from my colleague here, which is very inspiring.
It's been nice to work with a group of new people and especially kind of on a collaborative project.
Given that we have 1 week and people coming from all different backgrounds as well, I think this is going to really provide some different perspective and information that perhaps the challenge owner might not have considered before.
I think the key things are that having a variety of different perspectives resulted in getting approaches that we wouldn't necessarily have thought to try on our own. The other thing also is it helps define the problem more concretely, because there's a lot of things that you would just take for granted within your profession, the depth of knowledge you have that you don't necessarily realize because you've been involved in a field for so long, you don't realize that other people don't have it. So having people kind of come with a fresh perspective and ask you questions which seem kind of obvious initially, but as soon as you start trying to answer them, you realize they're quite complex. So that really helps as well, actually getting a decent problem definition.
And not steered towards conventional solutions as well. I think, you know.
When we're applying and designing it, you never really know who's going to apply to your challenge. And we've got a really diverse pool of candidates, which is great. Like, we already work in a field that's quite interdisciplinary by nature. But we found, especially as we talk to people, the wider people's skill sets are, the more interesting ideas they come up with. And also it's nice to have that kind of non-biased point of view. Like, if you're an engineer coming into biology, there's a good chance you've not seen anything, so you're not worried to ask those questions thinking, oh, that might not work, which is why we're so excited. Like, I'm really, really, really optimistic that something exciting is going to come out.